Hey, if you're an entrepreneur who's looking for that one way to make 2023 the year of your dreams, the year of you finally living your purpose, then keep listening because we're going to get right into it in this episode. Keep listening. Hi there, I'm Joe Silva. This is the Joe Silva Business Show. I am so glad you're here. This is where we help you, the entrepreneur, live your dreams, live your purpose, and put meaning back into your business. And this episode is the beginning of a new year. So we're here starting off 2023. When this is being recorded, it's January 2023. And we're going to get into all the things that happen typically with setting goals. And, everybody gets pumped up and says, oh, I'm going to do X, Y, Z, and then it falls apart. We're going to get into all that and how to get around that and actually get to that next level, actually achieve those big goals, those big dreams in this episode. So keep listening because this is important. This is why you're in business in the first place. All right. And we're going to help you do that. All right. So stay to the end, listen to this episode, and you'll be glad you did. All right. Now, first things first, go to my website, joesilvatraining.com/subscribe. You're going to want to subscribe to the podcast. Right. That's important because every week we're going to be giving you more information to help your business go beyond your limits, go beyond what you're doing. Right? Go beyond anything you even probably think you can. All right. So joesilvatraining.com/subscribe. Check that out now. And you'll be glad you did that as well. All right. So now let's get into it. All right. This is important here. This is about, in this episode, we're going to cover how to make 2023 your year. And there's a lot of podcasts, there's a lot of material out there that goes into all this. All right. But we're doing something different. All right. This is very different than anything else you see out there. And I teach this to my one-to-one clients. All right. This is something that actually my clients that I coach say is a massive game changer for the way they show up every day in their business. All right. This isn't about a to-do list. All right. This is about showing up a different way. In fact, a client recently told me that this concept we're covering in this episode alone was likely the catalyst to them really exponentially changing their business, right? Getting the results that they knew that was out there, but they hadn't quite gotten to, right? So we worked together and this concept alone brought them the results they were looking for, right? So this is good stuff. So stick around, all right? Now, what typically happens with most people out there, especially entrepreneurs, and again, you'll find this on other podcasts and other blogs or whatever else you are into out there. But most people will set goals this time of year, right? And you might even write them down. You might even take some time. If you're lucky as an entrepreneur, you have some time to actually go through that, right? And you'll write them down and you'll say, yep, that sounds great. I want to make $1 million this year, right? That's my goal. And maybe you decide to even break it down like by quarter, right? And we need to get this many clients and depending on how detailed you are, you might get into that stuff, right? Then what happens next? Right? Life happens, business happens, and things all around you start swirling like they are now, right? Why would that stop just because the calendar changes, right? If anything, it gets more and more hectic, especially this time of year, right? So what happens? Life happens, business happens, fires happen, and you say, I'll get to that later, right? It's like the mission statement, right? If you've ever seen Office Space, they got the banner with the mission statement. It just sits there on the wall. Nobody reads it. Nobody cares, right? So your goals are sitting here on some random piece of paper or maybe a Google Doc or a Word document or whatever it is. And they're sitting there. You never look at them again, right? You don't even have the time, the energy, and they might even intimidate you a little bit because if you're like me, you're like, geez, I got so much other stuff to do. If I look at these goals right now, I'm just adding to my plate. I'm adding to my to-do list. I'm adding to what I have to do, and my bandwidth is only so big, right? So what typically happens is you write these down, things get in the way, but maybe now it's February. And you're like, hey, I still got 11 months left. I'll get to that next week, right? Next week happens, more stuff gets in the way, right? I'll get to that. Keep putting it off. Next thing you know, it's June, right? We're halfway through the year. Like, hey, remember those goals we set back in January? Let's revisit those, right? And you might talk about them again. You might say, okay, we got to double our numbers now because, we're halfway there, but, we still have work to do, blah, blah, blah. The same cycle happens again, right? Until maybe around October, November might pop back in your head. I'm like, yeah, I wrote these goals down. Then December happens and boom, you're in the same spot you were last year. Does that sound familiar? Right? That used to happen to me. The one-to-one coaching clients I work with, it happens to them all the time until they go through a process I have to fix that. And we're going to talk about that again on this episode. That's why we're here, right? But the point here is that method doesn't work. right? That method doesn't work because when you just simply write down your goals, you're focused on external things. I'm focused on making $1 million, but you're not necessarily bringing that inside yourself, right? Or I'm focused on hiring a new team, right? 2 new team members, whatever it may be. Or, I'm focused on getting things finally off my plate. But that's all external, right? I'm going to hand it off. I'm going to do something. You may or may not have an action plan towards that. And that's where things tend to fall apart and you get sucked back into the day-to-day grind of the business. All right. So here's the way around that. Here's how to make 2023 your year to finally shift from when you get to December of this year and you look back and you're like, geez, I didn't pay attention to these goals all year, to actually putting things in place. All right. And it starts inside yourself. It starts inside your mindset, right? Stepping into your leadership ability, your leadership mindset, committing to being fulfilled in your business, and being committed and relentless about focusing on your purpose as a business, your purpose as an entrepreneur, your purpose in this life that we get to live every day. Now, that's big stuff. That's big concepts, but you're here to play big, aren't you? You're not here to do the surface level things because, again, we talked about that. It doesn't work. If those things worked, then everybody who wrote down their goals would be achieving them, right? And checking off the boxes. That stuff's all analytical. That's all logical stuff, right? Okay, I've got a to-do list. I'll get the things done on my to-do list. But what happens? That to-do list continues to grow, right? Things get reprioritized, or sometimes there's no priority at all. You're probably like, I don't even know what to do next. I'm just going to grab something, whatever floating in my atmosphere here. I'm just going to grab it and get it done, right? That's what typically happens. So committing and being focused on your purpose, that's stepping into your leadership, because as an entrepreneur, you are a leader. Yes, you are a leader, whether you realize it yet or not. You are leading, and you have a purpose for that leading. You didn't start your business simply to have something to do. Maybe that was part of it, but if you're like most entrepreneurs, you started your business because you had a dream, a desire, a goal. You want more income. You want more impact. You want to make a difference. You want more freedom, right? I want to go golfing. I want to pick up the kids. I want to go on vacation. I want to, hang out and just do what I want to do. Focus on the parts of the business that I love to do. You didn't start your business to grind it out for 50 years or 5 years, right? Despite what others will tell you out there, it's not about putting in your dues. It's about focusing your time, your attention, your energy where it matters most. And that is with your purpose. And that is the mindset that will take 2023 to the next level for you and your business. So we're talking about playing big, right? You have a choice. You can play small. You can continue to do all the little things. There's a reason they're called little things in the business, right? The emails, the social media posts, the website graphics, the customer service, whatever. Important stuff, it has to be done. But just because you can do it, does that mean you should do it? Consider that. Where is your purpose? All right. Just because I can make a cake from scratch doesn't mean I shouldn't go buy the powdered stuff and just make it quick. Okay. I've got better things to do with my time. I'm not a baker. Maybe you're a baker and you love that. All right. But you get my idea, right? Just because you can walk 10 miles doesn't mean you shouldn't drive a car there. Okay. This is about focusing on your purpose and the reason you're in business in the first place. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, hey, I just want to get by, right? I just want to get by day to day, do what I do, and be done. Okay, cool. That's awesome. You can turn this off now. This isn't for you. All right. This is for people that want more, that know inside themselves, that deep inside their heart, their soul, their mind, I can feel it. There's more out there for them. There's something bigger. There's purpose. And with purpose comes the income. The 6, the 7, the 8-figure plus income comes when you live your purpose, right? It's the old saying, do what you love to do. You never work a day in your life, right? The money follows, right? When you're energized, when you're doing what you love, when you're doing what lights you up, it will attract the people that will pay you money for that. Live your purpose. The income follows. Live your purpose. The impact is made, right? People gravitate towards you. Your customers are thrilled. Your employees love it. You're raising up the community. Everything around you is being lifted to another level. The freedom that you wanted, you get to enjoy. When you play big, these things are reality. When you decide to play small and keep all the little stuff and stay in the weeds and micromanage everything and get stressed and grind and hustle and do all that stuff, right? You're suppressing everything down. That's when things get stuck, get stagnant, and you become the disconnected visionary. You're disconnected from your business. You start to become resentful. You start to forget why you started your business in the first place, right? So it's all about playing big, because that is the way to shift your mindset around what you need, what you want, what your purpose is, right? So when we shift things to play big, bigger, all right, I know what you're thinking right now. I know what happens. I was here. I've gone through this, and I go through this with my coaching clients, right? You think, play big. Okay, sounds good, Joe. Let me think. Yeah, that's big. No. I could never do that because I've got responsibility X, Y, Z in my business. That's where you get stuck, right? So that's the next step, right? You got to have that leadership mindset of living and breathing and being dedicated to your purpose. The next step is getting past those negative thoughts, those limiting beliefs that are holding you back, right? When you think big, when you think of your dream, when you think of what you really are here to do, right? If you're like most people, something pops in your head immediately to try to bring you back to what is quote unquote reality, try to bring you back to ground level, right? That might be fear, right? It might be lack of motivation, lack of confidence, right? Afraid of being judged. Maybe it's simple procrastination. I don't know, right? There's lots of things that, again, my clients go through and we work past that. But when you get past those negative thoughts that are holding you back, that's when you allow yourself to realize those things are possible. That's a huge part of what most coaches out there miss, what most consultants miss, right? A consultant will come in, or some business coaches will come in and say, hey, if you raise prices and if you streamline this, right, your business will be more profitable. Well, great. Does that mean I love what I do? Does that mean I'm doing what I'm here to do? Does that mean I'm making the most impact? No, you're following a step-by-step list. All that does is add to your step-by-step list. That's it. You don't need a business automation system. You need a mindset shift. That's what this is about. And that's what's going to make the difference for you in 2023. There's a lot of books out there. There's a lot of courses out there. There's a lot of seminars out there that will teach you how to build systems and processes and SOPs and, find your employees and all that stuff. I've done all that, right? I used to teach it that way, as a matter of fact, but it's shifted to mindset first, because that's what matters. Who you're being inside matters. Because if I'm being the business owner who does all the things, you can give me a list all day long and I'm not going to follow it, maybe for a short time, but I'm going to go back to the fear, to the judgment, to the lack of confidence to do anything else. I might even say to myself, geez, if I automate my business, if I hire a whole team, what am I going to do all day? What good am I as an entrepreneur, right? I just sit around and not do anything. That's the opposite of purpose. So it's all about a mindset shift. Otherwise, you'll get trapped in all of that. Got to get past those negative thoughts, those limiting beliefs. It's like a roadblock, right? If you're driving down Route 66, right? Your goal is to drive across the country and enjoy a great time, right? You're on this journey, you're on this trip, you're driving along, you're going down, you're cruising, the road is winding and it's beautiful scenery. And suddenly you've got those barriers, those orange and white barriers with the lights flashing, all of those in front of the road. And you've got to come to a big stop, right? Brakes screech, tires screech. You almost shift forward in your seat. The seatbelt keeps you back and you're stopped. You're stuck. That's your limiting beliefs. What's on the other side of that barrier is your purpose. What's on the other side of that barrier is what you're really here to do. So once you can get around or through those limiting beliefs, move those out of the way permanently, now you're free to hit the gas. Tires can screech and you take off and zoom down the highway towards your dream destination. So it's about focusing your mind, shifting your mindset to leading with purpose. This isn't about micromanaging. This is about leading. Very, very different things. And again, I go through all that in my programs with my clients. All right. So a leadership mindset is where you lead with purpose. And that means doing what matters most for the biggest impact in your business to get the results you want. It's not about doing what's most urgent. All right. Most business owners get caught up in, hey, this just came across my desk. I got to put out this fire. This is what I have to do. Right. Back to the car analogy. Urgent would be you run out of gas. I got to fill the gas tank. I'm not going anywhere. Right. Or I get a flat tire. I better change that tire. I'm not going anywhere. I have to repair it now. It's right in front of my face. Right. But what's most important on that journey is keeping that engine running at maximum potential. Right. Those things will happen. Those fires will happen. And there's other ways around that. But if that engine blows up and you don't have an engine, it's going to be a lot harder to repair that than a simple tire, right? So it's about focusing on what's most important, not what's most urgent. And that's where most entrepreneurs fail, right? The successful business owners, the successful entrepreneurs out there are the ones that focus on shifting their mindset to a leadership mentality, delegating, trusting themselves, trusting their team, focusing on their purpose relentlessly, right? Those are the entrepreneurs that reach their full potential, right? You do want to reach your potential, don't you? That's why you're here listening to this. Am I right? That's what 2023 is all about. This isn't about to-do lists. This is about you and your purpose and everything that you started your business for in the first place, right? So as we go into 2023, really focus yourself in on stepping into that leadership that you are, the leader you are. The fact that you're an entrepreneur means you're a leader, whether you realize it yet or not. Most people don't have the guts to do what you've done. Most people don't have the guts to go out on their own and not have somebody else tell them what to do every day. Most people don't have the guts to not punch a clock and be relying on somebody else. You are special. You are different. You change the world. And that's why I do what I do, to help you. So the fact that you've done all this means you're already a leader. So step into that full leadership and you step into your purpose. That's what 2023 is about. And that's what we can do together. All right. So with all that said, leadership, fulfillment, purpose, those are the ways to live your best dream business in 2023. That's what's going to make the difference. That's what's going to move the needle. And that is what you need now, isn't it? All right. So if that interests you, go to my website again, go to joesilvatraining.com. I've got resources there for you that will start you off on the path to this. It'll start to shift your mindset around being a leader and stepping into your purpose. Because this isn't something where, again, it's a 1, 2, 3 step in a book or even on a podcast. Right? I could talk about it all day long, but it's about applying it. And I have resources for you to do that. So when you're ready, go to joesilvatraining.com, check out the resources there, and you'll be glad you did. All right. So thank you for joining me. I'm excited. If you can't tell, I'm pretty excited about 2023 and what this means for you and for us together. So we're here to change the world. Entrepreneurship changes the world. That's pretty awesome. All right. So let's do this together. Let's make it happen. And I appreciate you listening. And we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you.